Video I'm going to show you how to plot lines for GCSE using the table function of the Casio FX-991EX calculator, which is a calculator that I highly recommend for GCSE and A-level. I would be careful about using the some of the simpler Casio calculators, because although some of the older models and some of the other models in the range have a table function, some of the very simple ones, it's either limited or not present at all, and in some it's very awkward to use in the simpler ones. I got this calculator for just over £11 on eBay, and of course it's widely available in shops and elsewhere. Prices may vary. Okay, my name is Sunil Tanna. I'm a tutor and author. I'm available for one-to-one tuition, both online and in person, and I live in Buckinghamshire, England. So let's have a look at the question. Part A of the question says, complete the table of values for y equals 2x plus 1. Now this kind of question can come up in both a calculator or a non-calculator question paper. In a calculator paper, you can use the calculator to do the work for you. In a non-calculator paper, what you'd have to do is you'd have to put in 1 as a value of x. So for example, you do 2 times 1 plus 1, and you'd put, which gives you 3, which you put in here, and you do that for each successive value. In a calculator paper, you can actually get the calculator to do all the work for you. So the way you do this on this particular calculator is you press menu. On some of my older Casio calculators it's called mode. On this one there's many different types of calculations you can do. The normal mode you're in is mode 1 calculate, and the one we want is mode 9 table. So you can either scroll to that or you can press the number 9 button. On some of my other Casio calculators it's mode 2 or mode 7. So anyway, this one is mode 9 table. Now it will ask you, it will say what f of x is. F of x is really, in this case, is a synonym for y. So what we want to do is type in 2x plus 1. Now the way we do that is 2, and although you may not be able to see it, on the right hand bracket key there's a little red x, and the way I can access that is doing alpha x. On the simpler Casio calculators there may be an actual x button. It's usually a bad sign because they do have this function, but then it's very awkward to use the next step of it. Yeah. So I'm going to do 2 alpha x to get x, and then plus 1. So that's how I enter y equals 2x plus 1, and then I press equals. Now it asks me for g of x. Again, this particular Casio calculator can actually do more than one line at the same time. So it can do f, and g would be the next second line. F would be the first line, G would be the second line, and so on. Most of the other Casio calculators only do one at the same time, so you wouldn't have to do that. So to skip G of x, I just press equals. Now, if you look at the table, it starts when x is minus 2 and it ends with x is 3. So I type in minus 2 for the start, press equals. I type in 3 for the end, and I press equals. And if you look at my table, the table goes up in steps of 1. So I press 1, the x values go up in step of 1, I press 1 and equals. And it gives me this little table that you can see on the screen. It's quite hard to see probably on the video, but there's a first column which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, which tells you the item number. And then the next column is labelled x, and these correspond to the first line here. So it says minus 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the next column says f of x, which correspond to the y values. So all I need to do is copy them off. So when x is minus 2, y is minus 3. I can check that the other values match. So when x is minus 1, f of x is minus 1, which is on the calculator screen. When x is 0, f of x or y is 1. And then I can see for when x is 1, y is 3. If I scroll down now using the arrow keys, when x is 2, y is 5. And when x is 3, y is 7. So now I have all the data. Now when I want to go back to the original mode of the calculator, I can press menu and then go back to the calculate mode or press 1. And that takes me back to the calculator, how it was originally, so I can go on with other calculations later on in the exam paper. Okay, so now I have the table. I'm now ready to plot them on the graph. So we use that old trick of along the corridor, up or down the stairs. So for x is minus 2, I go 2 along the corridor, minus 3 down the stairs, and I plot a point. When x is minus 1 along the corridor, minus 1 along the stair, down the stairs, 0 along the corridor, and 1 up the stairs, 1 along the corridor, and 3 up the stairs, 2 along the corridor, and 5 up the stairs, and 3 along the corridor, and 7 up the stairs. And now I have all my points, so I'm now ready to use a ruler or a straight edge to join the points. So I will take my ruler and I will try and draw a line as accurately as I can going through all those points. And you can see it's a straight line here. Okay, and there's my line. At the end of this question, it actually asked me to extract some information from the graph. It says, when y, use the graph to find the value of y when x is minus 1.5. So what I would do is, remember this axis is the x-axis, it says x on it, so I'd find minus 1.5 on the x-axis, and I would go down, and I can see that there's what minus 1.5 is here, and I meet the line at minus 2. So when x is minus 1.5, y is equal to minus 2. The second question says, use the graph to find the value of x when y is 6. So this is the y-axis. I find 6 on the y-axis, and I go across until I find the line, and then I go down, and I can see here x is 2.5. Now, of course, if I had drawn the line slightly off, I may not get an accurate number, so I do need to be careful about drawing it as accurately as possible. I'll do one more question like this now, where they don't give you the table, but the basic idea is the same. You can create your own table. So on this question here, we see on the graph, draw the graph of, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals 3x minus 2 for the values of x from minus 1 to 3. So what I'm going to do is draw my own table up here of x and y, and x can be from minus 1 to 3, so it can be minus 1, 0, 1, 2, or 3. And I'm going to calculate the values of y here using the calculator. So first of all, I do menu, I go to the table mode, mode 9 on this calculator, press equals, ask me for the f of x, so in this case 3 to get the x, alpha x minus 2, press equals. It asks me for g of x, a second line, I don't need that, so I skip that by pressing equals. This time my start value is minus 1, so I enter minus 1, press equals. My end value is 3, so I press 3, equals, and I'm going up in steps of 1, so I press step of 1, equals, and it now gives me the table, and it says here, when x is minus 1, f of x is minus 5. When x is 0, f of x or y is minus 2. When x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y is 4. And if I scroll down here, when x is 3, y is 7. And now again I'm ready to plot them. So here, x is minus 1 along the corridor, y is minus 5, so down the stairs. When x is 0, 0 along the corridor, minus 2 down the stairs. 1 along the corridor and 1 up the stairs here, 2 along the corridor and 4 up the stairs, 3 along the corridor and 7 up the stairs. And again, I get my ruler and I join them like so. And I've now completed the question. I probably could have done that a little bit more accurately, but that's probably pretty good.